Joshua Abraham Norton came to America's West Coast like many others. He sought fortune. Well, he found it, then he lost it. After that, he found something else entirely. He became Emperor of the United States. He also became Protector of Mexico. This was in 1859. He was San Francisco's most famous person. He was also its only emperor. Joshua Norton was born in England. This was around 1818. His family moved to South Africa when he was a child. He grew up there. He had some business ventures there. They did not work out well. He left South Africa in 1849. He sailed to San Francisco. This was during the California Gold Rush. Many people went west then. They wanted to get rich. Or Norton wanted to get rich too. He arrived with money. He had about $40,000. This was a lot of money back then. He used it to start businesses. He bought real estate. He bought up properties quickly. San Francisco was growing fast. Land prices went up. Norton's wealth grew. He was a successful businessman. He was respected. He was known in the city. He walked through town with purpose. He dressed well. He seemed like a man who knew what he was doing. Then came the rice. This was in 1857. China was having a famine. There was little rice there. San Francisco imported rice from South America. A ship was coming to port. It had a lot of rice. Norton thought rice prices would go up. He decided to buy all the rice on that ship. He made a deal. He would buy the rice for 12 cents a pound. He expected to sell it for much more. But another ship came, and another. More ships arrived. They were also full of rice. The famine in China was not as bad as first thought. Or perhaps the news was slow to travel. Suddenly, San Francisco had too much rice. The price of rice crashed. It went down to 4 cents a pound. Norton was stuck. He had bought a huge amount of rice for 12 cents. He could not sell it for that. He lost a lot of money. Norton went to court. He tried to get out of the deal. He said there was fraud. He fought for 2 years. He lost his case. He lost all his money. His businesses failed. His real estate was gone. He was bankrupt. He was ruined. This was a hard time for him. He had been a rich man. He had been a respected man. Now he had nothing. He had no home. He had no job. He had no money. He was living on the streets. The loss broke something inside him, or perhaps it freed something. He had tried to be a regular man, a successful man. That path led to ruin. He decided to try a different path, a path no one else had ever taken. He decided to become emperor. It was a strange choice, but it made sense to him. He had nothing left to lose. He had been an important man. He wanted to be important again. But this time, he would do it on his own terms. His life in San Francisco had changed completely. From a rich merchant to a pauper, and soon to something far stranger. It was September 1859. Joshua Norton had been bankrupt for a while. He had been wandering the streets. He was no longer the successful businessman. He was a man with no direction. But then he found a new direction. It was a very unusual direction. He walked into the office of the San Francisco Bulletin. This was a newspaper. He had a piece of paper with him. He handed it to the editor. The editor read it. It was a proclamation, a declaration. It said that Joshua Norton was now the Emperor of the United States, and he was also the Protector of Mexico. This was a big claim, a very big claim. The proclamation began, at the peremptory request of a large majority of the citizens of these United States, I, Joshua Norton, formerly of Balboa Bay, Cape of Good Hope, and now for the last 9 years and 10 months past of San Francisco, California, declare and proclaim myself Emperor of these United States. It went on. It dissolved Congress. It said the office of president was abolished. It ordered all parties to meet in San Francisco. This was to sort things out. He would oversee it. The newspaper editor could have thrown it away. He could have laughed, but he didn't. He thought it was funny. He thought it would be good for sales, so he printed it. And that was how Joshua Norton became Emperor Norton. The people of San Francisco, woke up to this news. They saw it in their morning paper. People did not get angry. They did not start a revolution. They found it amusing. They thought it was a joke. But it was not a joke to Norton. He believed it. He started to act like an emperor. He began to dress the part. He got a blue military uniform. It had gold epaulets. It had a tall, plumed hat. He carried a sword or a cane. He looked very official. He looked very serious. He started issuing more decrees. These decrees were often printed in the local papers. Sometimes they were about government. He ordered Congress to meet in San Francisco. When they didn't, he dissolved them again. He declared war on stupidity. He ordered a bridge to be built. This bridge would span San Francisco Bay. This was a crazy idea at the time. No one thought it was possible. But he envisioned it. He saw the future. He did not have an army. He did not have a palace. He had no real power. But he had something else. He had the attention of the city. He walked through the streets. People would greet him. "Good day, your majesty," they would say. He would nod regally. He would accept their greetings. He would inspect the streets. He would check on the city's progress. He was doing his duty. He was watching over his people. The city played along. They enjoyed it. It was a strange bit of theater, a live performance happening every day. Norton was not aggressive. He was not dangerous. He was just a man who believed he was an emperor. And San Francisco, a city full of unusual characters, accepted him. They made him one of their own. His transformation was complete, from a failed businessman to a self-proclaimed monarch. And the city embraced him in his new role. It was a truly unique situation. No other city would have done it quite like San Francisco. Emperor Norton's life was not one of luxury. He lived in a small room. It was cheap. But his days were full. He had duties to perform. Important duties, he believed. Every morning he would get dressed. He would put on his uniform. It was often worn and faded. But he wore it with dignity. His tall, plumed hat would be carefully placed. He would take his cane or sword. Then he would start his rounds. He walked the streets of San Francisco. This was his routine. He inspected the streetcars. He made sure they ran on time. He checked the condition of the sidewalks. He looked for potholes. He made sure the city was running well. He visited the docks. He kept an eye on shipping. He was watching over his empire. He would stop at the newspaper offices. He would check the latest news. Sometimes he would deliver a new decree. His decrees were varied. Some were about serious matters. He abolished the Republican and Democratic parties. He thought they were tearing the country apart. He ordered the construction of a suspension bridge from Oakland to San Francisco. This was a fantastic idea for the 1860s. No one could build such a bridge then, but he saw it as a necessity. Over 70 years later, the Bay Bridge was built. He also ordered a tunnel under the bay. These ideas were ahead of his time. People thought he was just being eccentric, but he was thinking big. Other decrees were more personal, or whimsical. He ordered a census of the dogs in San Francisco. He wanted to make sure they were all accounted for. He declared that anyone who referred to San Francisco as Frisco would be fined $25. This was a serious offense to him. He liked the full name. He wanted people to respect the city. He issued orders about the proper way to dress. He was concerned with the moral fabric of his empire. He spent his evenings in public places. He often went to his favorite restaurants, or to a saloon. He ate his meals, he drank his beer, he sat at a reserved table. People would often pay for his meals. They considered it an honor or a small tax to their emperor. He would talk to people. He would listen to their concerns. He would offer advice. He was approachable. He was a man of the people, even if he believed he was above them. He had 2 dogs. They were named Bummer and Lazarus. They were stray dogs, but they became his companions. They followed him on his rounds. They were often seen with him. Bummer was a famous scavenger. Lazarus was an injured dog. Bummer helped. They were local celebrities, just like the emperor. When Lazarus died, the city mourned. When Bummer died later, his funeral was a big event. It showed how much the city cared for its unique characters. Emperor Norton had no real power, but he had great influence. He had the respect of the people. He brought a certain charm to the city. He was a living legend. He was a reminder that life could be different. It did not always have to follow the rules. He showed that you could invent your own reality, and if people accepted it, it became real. His daily life was a blend of his own beliefs and the city's gentle indulgence. He was an emperor without an army. But he had a loyal populace. San Francisco did not just tolerate Emperor Norton. It embraced him. The city saw him as its own. He was a local treasure. Merchants honored his presence. Many restaurants gave him free meals, or they gave him discounts. They knew he brought goodwill. He brought a touch of color to their businesses. Some shops even issued their own Norton notes. These were paper notes. They had Norton's face on them. They were like money, but they only had value in that specific store, and merchants would accept them. It was a way to show respect, and it was good for business. People liked to see the emperor in their stores. The police also treated him with respect. One time, a new police officer arrested Norton. He thought Norton was a vagrant, or a nuisance. The people of San Francisco were outraged. They demanded his release. The police chief, Patrick Crowley, personally released Norton. He apologized to the emperor. He told all officers that Norton was to be treated with dignity. He was to be saluted. He was not to be harassed. The emperor was under the protection of the city. He was a fixture at public events, the parades, theater openings. He always had a place of honor. People would cheer for him. They would clap. He would wave his hand regally. He truly believed they were cheering for their sovereign. And in a way they were. He was a symbol of San Francisco's spirit, its tolerance, its willingness to be different. Mark Twain lived in San Francisco for a time. He was a famous writer. He knew Emperor Norton. Some say Norton was an inspiration for a character in his books. Robert Louis Stevenson, another famous writer, also wrote about Norton. He called him a mild, grave, courteous, and kindly emperor. These writers saw the special nature of Norton. They saw his place in the city. Emperor Norton was not just an oddity. He was a social barometer. He represented a certain freedom. He allowed people to believe in something fantastical. He allowed them to step outside the mundane. His existence proved that there was room for everyone. Even for a self-proclaimed emperor, he became a beloved part of the city's landscape, a part that everyone appreciated. His uniform became iconic. He often had more than one. They were paid for by the city, or by concerned citizens. They wanted their emperor to look presentable. He would be seen in his blue coat, or sometimes a green one, always with the tall hat, always with his cane or sword. These details were important to him. They were important to the city. They added to the legend. San Francisco was a young city. It was still forming its identity. It was a place where people came to start over, or to escape. It was a place where rules were often bent, or broken. Emperor Norton fit right in. He was an embodiment of that spirit. He was an original. And the city loved him for it. It supported him. It protected him. It made sure his reign continued. This unique relationship between a man and a city is what made his story so enduring. It showed a deep kindness, a sense of humor, a profound understanding of what it means to be human. Emperor Norton's reign lasted for 21 years. From 1859 to 1880, he walked the streets of San Francisco every day. He issued his decrees. He greeted his subjects. He was a constant presence. But he was getting older. His health was fading. On January 8th, 1880, Emperor Norton collapsed. He was on his way to a lecture. He was on California Street, near DuPont Street. A police officer found him. He died before medical help could arrive. The cause was apoplexy, a stroke. He was around 61 years old. The news spread quickly. San Francisco was in shock. Its beloved emperor was gone. The next day, the San Francisco Chronicle printed a headline. It read, "Le Roi est mort." This means the king is dead. It was a tribute, a sign of respect. The city mourned. His funeral was 2 days later. It was a huge event. More than 10,000 people came. They lined the streets. They followed the hearse. Businesses closed. Stores shut down. Everyone wanted to pay their respects. They came from all walks of life. Rich people, poor people, everyone who knew him, everyone who loved him. It was a testament to how much he meant to the city. He was buried in Masonic Cemetery. The city found out something after his death. They found his few possessions. There were his decrees, his letters, his collection of canes, his uniform, and 2 telegrams. They were from Emperor Alexander II of Russia and from Queen Victoria of England. These were, of course, fake. But they showed his belief, his conviction in his role. He was an emperor to the very end. Emperor Norton's legacy lives on. He is still remembered in San Francisco. He is not seen as a madman. He is seen as an icon, a symbol of the city's eccentric spirit. His bridge idea, once ridiculed, became real. The San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge. Many people call it Emperor Norton's Bridge. There are plaques dedicated to him. There are bars named after him. He is a part of San Francisco's history, a cherished part. His story tells us something important. It tells us about humanity, about compassion, about imagination. San Francisco could have ignored him. They could have institutionalized him. But they didn't. They let him be. They embraced his unique reality. They honored him. They gave him dignity, and in doing so, they gave themselves something special, a unique legend. A story that reminds us to be kind, to be tolerant, to celebrate the strange and wonderful parts of life. Emperor Norton was America's only emperor. He never ruled a country with force. He never commanded an army. But he reigned over the hearts of San Franciscans. He was a monarch of goodwill, a ruler of imagination, and his memory continues to inspire. He proved that sometimes believing in yourself, even if no one else does, can create a powerful legacy. And sometimes, a city's kindness can turn a broken man into a legend. His story is a powerful reminder of how a community can come together and, through simple acts of acceptance, elevate the most unlikely among them to truly extraordinary heights. He was San Francisco's emperor, and in many ways he still is.